Election Commissioner Gyanesh Kumar in Delhi. She was accompanied by Trinamool MP Abhishek Banerjee and Kalyan Banerjee, along with 12 families affected by the special intensive revision of electoral rolls in West Bengal. After meeting CEC, Mamata Banerjee held a press conference accusing ECI of being arrogant, calling the poll body a dalal. She said her party has no expectation from the Election Commission. She questioned ECI as why SIR is being conducted 3 months before elections in Bengal. She went on to say that the people from Bengal had come to raise the issue with the Election Commission but were being threatened. The families attending the meeting included people who were allegedly and wrongly declared dead and relatives of those who passed away due to SIR-related issues. Banerjee and the family members marked their protest by wearing black, with Didi in a black shawl and Abhishek Banerjee in black sweater.
हम 4 terms मिनिस्टर थे, 7 terms MP थे, लेकिन हम कभी ऐसा इलेक्शन कमीशन को नहीं देखा जिन्होंने इतना एरोगेंट है, ग्रेट लायर है। हम उनको कहा था कि आपको कुर्सी को रेस्पेक्ट करते हैं, because no chair is permanent for anybody. One day you have to go, but don't create this precedent. And only why Bengal is being targeted? लोकतंत्र में इलेक्शन होता है, डेमोक्रेसी का फेस्टिवल, और आपने क्या किया? पहले 58 लाख लोगों को बात दिया, निकाल दिया, और उनको आप डिफेंड भी करने नहीं दिया। एआई का नाम पे सिवा खाना कौन है?
The Election Commission has pushed back against the West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's allegation, with sources in the poll panel offering a sharply different account of what transpired during her meeting with the Commission. Election Commission sources told News9 that the Chief Election Commissioner was listening patiently and calmly to all concerns raised by the TMC delegation regarding the SIR process. According to these sources, it was Mamata Banerjee who lost her temper during the interaction. They claimed that the Chief Minister suddenly became angry in the middle of the meeting, banged the table in rage and walked out before discussions could complete. The BJP also hit out at Mamata.
चीफ सेक्रेटरी का साथ मुलाकात करने के लिए कोशिश किया, 2-3 बार मेल किया। चीफ सेक्रेटरी आज मिलने के लिए इनकार कर दिया, 6 तारीख को डेट रखा। इसलिए हम लोग ऑनरेबल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल चीफ स्टेट की गवर्नर का पास टाइम मांगा था, उन्होंने टाइम दिया। मैं एलओपी सहित 12 बीजेपी एमएलए, हमारी स्टेट की 2 सीनियर लीडर, 14 मेंबर डेलीगेशन हम लोग मुलाकात किया। हमारी मुलाकात की जो मांग है, जो डिमांड है, वो 1 नंबर है। यहाँ इलेक्शन कमीशन का रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ओनली 1 है, सीओ है। उनकी छोड़कर पूरा एसआईआर प्रोसेस में जो 90,000 बीएलओ deputed by, listed by the state administration, all AERO and ERO and DO, all controlled by the state government under the leadership of the Chief Minister and the Chief Secretary.
Earlier today as well, Mamata created high drama in the national capital after confronting Delhi police outside Banga Bhavan. The confrontation came amid TMC allegation over voter rights violation during SIR exercise in Bengal. And Mamata was saying why is police following her, and when she spoke to them as to why they were there, then she said, well, she can get her people from West Bengal, so that, she can show her strength in Delhi on this issue. I'm joined by Charu Pragya, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party, Rohan Mitra, spokesperson Congress, Barnu Burman, political analyst, and Brajesh Pandey, input editor of News9. Let me straight away go to Charu Pragya. Madam, what do you make of the entire, I would say, tamasha which happened in New Delhi, starting from Banga Bhavan to the office of the Election Commissioner? Madam.
Good evening and namaste. I think you framed it correctly. There was a lot of drama, and West Bengal government shifts accountability and thinks theatrics is enough to win the hearts of people. And I think Mamata Banerjee has become quite a pro at this. She does not want to concern herself with the legality of things. She does not want to concern herself with the constitutional validity of anything. How she functions is now very, very simple. Manufacture a crisis, attack institutions, play victim, and then hope that headlines will be created and they will be big and loud enough to deflect from her failure at governance. And failure at governance has been there for everybody to see. See, democracy died in West Bengal the day Mamata Banerjee won the last elections. We saw the kind of post-poll violence that went on in West Bengal, and it didn't come to a pause at all. In fact, the victims had to come knocking at the door of the Supreme Court to get any kind of relief. And even after that, Kartike, we've seen the whole mess after RG Kar Medical College rape case, the way it was mishandled, deliberately evidence was destroyed. We have seen the way police in West Bengal actually attacks and helps the perpetrators of crime. We saw it in the case of Murshidabad. Kolkata High Court itself said that police is being used like a tool by the government to drive out citizens from their homes. So much has happened, and excuse me, Delhi police is not West Bengal police. Delhi police is responsible for the security and safety of every single chief minister in the country who comes to the capital, every constitutional authority, judges of the Supreme Court. It is responsible for every foreign dignitary which comes, and all of this is done in spite, irrespective of party loyalties. So please, anything that happened in Delhi today was completely on you. They were anticipating a problem and they were stationed to handle with that. Delhi police solves crisis. It does not create crisis like West Bengal police does.
Okay, let me play out one more bite of Mamata Banerjee. What happened earlier in the day?
I think whatever she said about the strategy of TMC, I think she has just said.
Let me just play out the bite.
BJP, what?
तो ब्लेम करेंगे उसको जो माथा पे है उसको हिमालयन इनकॉम्पिटेंस है देश को सुरक्षा नहीं दे सकते हैं बंगाल को ऊपर टर्चर करते हैं आम जनता को ऊपर टर्चर करते हैं और एसआईआर का नाम पे सत्यानाश कर रहे हैं
Let me play out another bite of Mamata Banerjee. There is another bite of Mamata Banerjee. Let me play out that bite also.
उनका घर में भी माँ है बहन है भाई है दिल्ली पुलिस ऐसा नहीं है हम उसको नहीं कहेंगे वो तो इंस्ट्रक्शन पे आई हुई है I will request the Home Minister not to behave like this. When you come to Bengal, we give you the red carpet, and when you came in Delhi, you give us a black carpet. We'll show you the black result. Don't show us the muscle. If nobody fight in this country, I will fight. Our party will fight.
Okay. So, Brijesh, what is happening? I mean, so why is Mamata so upset today?
Well, I think that's vintage.
I'll come to you, Pragya. I'll just come to you. So let me, Pragya, I'll come to you. I'll come to you, Pragya. What's happening? Why is she upset today?
That's vintage Mamata Banerjee, and she's playing to the gallery. I think, I mean, you know, she's a consummate politician. She understands the pulse of the people. She understands, you know, how important narrative is and how narratives can be shaped and built. And she's a pro at it. And I think, you know, very few politicians can rival her as far as doing these kind of things is concerned. So, like a true vintage politician, you know, we saw Khela Hobe there back in West Bengal. I think, you know, the way she went after Delhi police, the way she went after the CEC who was there along with the entire, the team of election commissioners along with him. And the way, you know, it happened after sides. I mean, it's a clear messaging to her electorate back there that I'm in Delhi, which is the home, which is the turf of Bharatiya Janata Party, and I'm still giving it as good as it gets. So I think
my only surprise is Rohan to you and then Banu Baman. My only question is, SI didn't work in Maharashtra, the entire campaign didn't work in Bihar. I mean, why? I'll come to all of you. I'll come to you, Rohan. Why do you think that it's going to work in West Bengal? I mean to say it's not working anywhere, sir.
Kartikeya, you use the words drama and, you know, everything, other words, which this is a perfect reality show of, you know, politics. Because the narrative is such, you know, right now. I mean, Charu Pragya forgot that, you know, Supreme Court gave RG Kar to CBI. And what did CBI do? They said exactly what the Kolkata police said. So, you know, this whole drama is just trying to create a bipartisan, bipolar narrative in Bengal. Because you see, from after 2021, the BJP's graph in Bengal has been going down. Mamata Banerjee knows that the BJP is not a fight, is not in the fight against her, but it is to create this false pretext that the fight is between TMC and BJP, that all this drama is going on. First of all, she's a Z category protectee. So her protection should have been out there with the Chief Secretary of Bengal and the Home Ministry together in it, than to have this whole drama of the Delhi police coming in the morning and showing us the video cameras doing all the drama with all the MPs. This is just trademark reality TV politics which is going on. Coming back to SIR, see, the Congress party has been always on the right side of the SIR. We said, let's put the SIR out there, make sure that nobody who has the right credentials should be out of the voter list. We did not say that you should not keep people who do not deserve to be on this voter list in that voter list. But with the TMC now, let me put it out. 58 lakhs which came out on the first day, they gave the names and it was given their assemblies and their booth numbers, everything was mentioned. So we do not have a complaint on that, but we have a complaint on the 1 crore 60 lakh people who have been given notices, including me. My father is an ex-member of parliament and I have been given a notice on absolutely nothing. I went there, it was for 1 minute, and okay, I'm not complaining because I'm a young man, I can stand there in the queue. But what we saw was 70-year-old people, 80-year-old people who were standing in the queue for hours and hours without any kind of help. This is what is happening in Bengal. So the election commission has a lot to answer for, but not for this drama which is going on in Bengal.
Let me tell you, Rohan, I also had a bit of a case in my family, but I also stood in the queue, and I stay in sector 15 Noida. And I went to Sarvodaya Vidyalaya, and I think I sorted it out in 40 minutes. I called you, Brijesh. It took me 40 minutes to sort out my stuff.
Yes, Pragya, it took me 3 hours. It took me 3 hours, and there were 70-year-old men and women in that line.
Fair enough. Two experience cannot be same. Pragya to you, Pragya to you, and then to Barno.
So here is the thing. The Electoral Commission of India...
I'll come to you, Barno. I'll come to you.
Manages a population of over 90 crore people who go in for polling. Can you imagine an exercise of this magnitude in any other part of the world? A few people having minor issues here and there, which are anyways ironed out, usually typically within the hour, is actually excellent work by our election commission. And I always wanted to say this, if there's an issue with the SIR process, it's a constitutional process. You can move the court. You can actually move the court and ask for amendment. You can ask for changing of the section in the Representation of People's Act or the Article 324, 25 and 26 of the Constitution. But you know what? What Rohan was trying to say, I will come back to that and I will again tell Rohan why he is majorly wrong. So when the CBI got the Ajikar medical college case, evidence had already been destroyed. In fact, Mamata Banerjee held on to that transfer for a really long time, well over a week, and by the time CBI stepped in, everything was destroyed. This is the same Chief Minister who takes joy in...
Rohan, let us speak.
CBI.
Rohan, let us speak.
What is the section state of CBI?
Rohan, let us speak.
I would love to ask you one simple...
Rohan, let us speak. She didn't disturb you. And Barno, I'll come to you. I'll come to you, Barno.
And I'll tell you, she
they are putting their...
against institutions. I'm giving you reasons. She sat on a dharna against the CBI when it went there in the Sharda Chit Fund case. She is the one under whose watch ED officers were attacked in Sandesh Khali because they wanted to investigate land mafia. Their car was set ablaze. Most recently, she stormed into the middle of a ED raid, walked out with evidence and files. So this is the kind of behavior she talks about, and here she is using words like incompetence and torture. Excuse me. Since when has doing their job become incompetence or torture? And you cannot be pointing fingers at cops like this when you come to Delhi, because all you come here to do is create more drama.
Okay, Barno now. You get to speak. Barno.
I think Ms. Pragya don't have any point to justify the way SIR is going on in Bengal. That's why she is moving from the topic of today's topic. She is going to see Sandesh Khali.
In the Supreme Court.
Ma'am, this is my time.
No, you are making personal comments against me. I did not make any comments.
Definitely I will do. Whatever I think is correct, I will say.
Do not tell me what I do or do not know. Stick to your job.
Yes, certainly I will. I will put the fact across to you. I will put the facts across to everyone and let people decide who is saying correct or wrong.
I will not stand for it.
I will. If you say something false, I will. If you say something wrong, I will. If you say something wrong, I will.
Okay, Barno, make your point. Barno.
Let the people decide.
Barno.
Let the viewer decide. Let the viewer decide. Let the viewer decide who is correct, who is false.
Barno, make your point now. Barno, time is Barno.
She's
Banu,
not
Banu,
lady, she's
Banu,
she's
you see,
coming in between.
you know, conversations,
She want all
the
time.
pointers
She
can
want
be
the entire
infinite,
TLP
Banu,
guest.
Banu. Conversations point can be infinite, but time I have in my own studio is finite. Please understand that it's finite.
Please
it ends.
ask your fellow-
So
You know,
please
we
make
can
use of
ask
it.
Hard to be
Banu,
silent now.
Banu,
I was,
please.
I was
Banu,
mom. Okay.
Banu,
So
please
what
make
I'm
use of
saying,
it.
Doesn't have
the
one.
way SIR is happening in
He doesn't
Bengal,
have
the
one.
way the
Let us
SIR is
speak.
happening in Bengal is not correct. We are not against SIR. We are just against this hurried exercise. We are against of this hurried exercise. SIR is if people are getting notice, is if people are getting disenfranchised, then people will ask, no, what is the legitimacy of it? What are the SOPs are being followed? Trinamool Congress has went to court also. State government of West Bengal has went to Supreme Court also. They said that Madhyamik certificate will not be allowed or accepted. Then Supreme Court said, no, you have to accept it. So what we are realizing in Bengal is SIR is just a silent, invisible rigging. The way it has been done, it is clearly, we can see, the LOP of West Bengal is saying 1 crore voter will get notice. And the next day, ECI is issuing notice to 1 crore 30 or 40 lakhs voter. If ECI works on the words of BJP, then the protest will happen. And today, Mamata Banerjee get a set plus security. She is a cabinet, she's a former cabinet minister. She is a current chief minister. She will get security. But why police cordon of?
But Banu, I have a question.
Why Delhi police cordon the Banga Bhavan?
Banu, I have a question. I mean to say, if the meeting was to resolve the issue, why do you walk out of it? Fair point? Why do you walk out of it if the meeting is to resolve the issue?
Because last time when Abhishek Banerjee, our current MP of Diamond Harbour, when he went to meet election commissioner, chief election commissioner Gyanesh Kumar, he refused to listen to him. Same happened today also. If election commission
No, she walked out of the meeting.
Banu,
she walked out of the meeting. Okay.
See, this is the point I'm making.
No. What is our sources telling us? Brijesh, wait a minute. Pragya, let's get the fact. Brijesh, what is our
Commission sources?
Okay, what are our sources telling us? We have reporters on ground. Brijesh, we have the reporters on ground.
Election Commission sources said that they were listening to him patiently, and but she got impatient, she got angry, she banged the table and left the conversation. So this is what Election Commission sources are saying.
So our reporters are saying that she banged the table and left. I mean, so who banged the table? Who banged the table? The election commissioner or madam?
Let the election commission release a video. Let the election commission release a video.
No, who banged the table? Rohan.
Ask them to release a video.
No. Is it so? That is why I asked now. Was it a tamasha or a genuine?
It is a tamasha. Kartikeya, you've answered the question. It is a tamasha. This is just a real time. It is reality politics. This is just to maintain a binary. Because the BJP is on the way down, Mamata Banerjee needs to make sure that
that is what happening.
So was it a tamasha for the airwaves? Was it a tamasha for the airwaves?
They have zero stake in West Bengal.
Was it so you admit it's a tamasha for the airwaves?
That's why people are
Rohan.
The media is giving her the airwaves. The media is giving the BJP and the TMC airwaves.
The TMC is getting the airwaves. She's doing Facebook Live. I mean, so she's doing Facebook Live. I mean, so people, regular Joes are deployed there. You go to anywhere in the Haley Road, you go to Chanakyapur, it's the most heavily defended area in this country. I mean, so you will find police everywhere. If you will not find police in Chanakyapur, where will you find them?
It's not about being heavily policed or being... you tell me one thing. When people who have lost their life or the people who have been claimed as dead are staying in Banga Bhavan, why Delhi police...
Okay, Charu, do you think you guys are in fight? Let me ask a very blunt question. You know, twice Mamata Banerjee has defeated BJP. Are you in fight this time? I'll take that closing comment from you.
We are going to win this election fair and square, Kartikeya, because we've seen the kind of mismanagement and misgovernance West Bengal has seen in the last 5 years. And I started with that. Post-poll violence was the beginning of it. And the most recent
how many cases were thrown out of the High Court? You know how many false allegations were thrown out of the High Court? Do you have any clue? Do you have any clue?
Yeah, I'll tell you the problem with the TMC people is that they think if someone's not aligned to their way of thinking, they can be driven out of their homes, they could be murdered in cold blood, they could be treated as badly as they like.
False narrative.
No, this is the
Propaganda.
truth.
False
You know
narrative
what, when
and propaganda.
Cues and cues of people.
False
at the
narrative
border,
and propaganda of
cross
BJP.
Back into Bangladesh. Because
They
you
will,
have
if they cannot conquer Punjab, they will say Punjab is a Khalistani. If they cannot conquer Bengal, they will call Bangladeshi. That is it. That is the strategy. That is the strategy.
Barno, what is the strategy? What is the strategy?
If
The
they
strategy-
cannot
No, that's
conquer
not the
each other,
strategy.
they will bring the
No.
state.
Strategy.
When they cannot
Barno,
conquer
Barno,
Punjab,
that's not the
Khalistani,
strategy.
they will
The
call
point
Punjab
is,
a
the
Khalistani.
point is, after a lot of, the point is, you guys have been in power in West Bengal for such a long time, but the BJP is a principal force that has emerged. I think that is where the problem is. Isn't that the Brijesh? It's the principal
the
contender
entire
right
left
now.
was the entire stake of the leftists has gone to BJP. They have
2019 and they
surrendered
are
at
done
the
and
feet of
dusted in
BJP.
2021.
No. Okay, Pragya,
They were
very
done and
quickly.
dusted in 2024.
Pragya, I want to listen to
They are on their
Pragya.
way out.
PCR, I want to listen to Pragya. Pragya.
The entire stake of
Pragya.
leftists,
Pragya, I want to
has
listen to
gone
Pragya.
BJP.
I'm trying.
They have no national-
Yes, yes.
I stepped on the snake's tail. That is why he's so irked and he does not want me to speak. You know, there were things in West Bengal in this last term which have pained the entire country. When grandmothers were raped in front of their grandchildren, that pained the entire country. The way RG Kar Medical College rape case was handled, it pained the entire country. The way the entire administration stood with the culprit and did not care about the victim, it pained all of us.
Okay.
Murshidabad, homes were set afire and this government could do nothing. All of that is karma and it is going to come back and pay its debt to Mamata Banerjee and her people.
Okay.
What did your CBI do?
Brijesh, tell me
What
one
did
thing.
your CBI
Brijesh, tell
do?
me one thing. Do you think that there's a real fight this time? Or is it going to be something like last election or last to last election?
There is a fight, but I would
There is a
say
fight?
there is a fight. But I would say that I would like to qualify that remark by saying that Mamata Banerjee is as consummate politician as Narendra Modi is. So you know the fight is between equals. It's not an unequal fight as we have seen in other parts. The fight is between equals. So both are adept and consummate politicians, and this is the reason why it has been in the last two elections very tough for the BJP to usurp Mamata Banerjee to defeat her.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Pragya. Thank you, Barno. Thank you, Rohan. And thank you, Brijesh, for joining me. So this was on point 2. So it was Mamata Banerjee at her best in terms of theatrics, in terms of garnering public attention, whether it was TV or Facebook or social media profile she has. So this was pure play Mamata Banerjee in Delhi. But in on point 3, we'll talk about Pakistan. Gets a big jolt from BLA, freedom fighters, and Islamabad goes back on a murder spree in Baluchistan. On January 31st and Feb 1, multiple coordinated suicide and gun assaults stuck across Baluchistan, including the provincial capital Quetta, the port of the Gwadar, Mastung and Noshki. Baloch freedom fighters delivered a big blow to Islamabad after targeting police stations, paramilitary bases, high security prison, sparking intense clashes with security forces. According to official figures, the attack left at least 17 security personnel and 31 civilians dead and injured many others. Pakistani troops then mounted a counter-offensive lasting more than 40 hours, during which security forces said they killed approximately 145 Baloch freedom fighters. The Baluchistan Liberation Army, a Baloch separatist group banned by Pak, has claimed responsibility for the attack, calling the campaign a coordinated offensive against the state. BLA seeks greater autonomy for Baluchistan, which is ravaged by Pakistan through the Belt and Road project of China. They're exploiting the resources. Across Baluchistan cities and towns, the atmosphere remains tense, road remains quiet, transport services have been disrupted and mobile internet access has been restricted, underscoring the scale of disruption to everyday life. Pakistan military and Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi has alleged that the attackers involved in Baluchistan had India's support, a claim New Delhi has categorically rejected. The MEA said that we categorically reject the baseless allegation made by Pakistan, which are nothing but its usual tactics to deflect attention from its own internal failing. India's official response underscores a firm rejection of Pak narrative, while emphasizing that such allegations are part of repeated pattern that overlooks the deep-rooted political and human rights issues which Baluchistan is suffering. Despite being rich in natural gas, coal, copper, gold, Baluchistan remains Pakistan's poorest and least developed province. 44% population in Baluchistan is under poverty line, and the region records the lowest literacy rate in Pakistan. Basic services, healthcare, education, drinking water remain scarce in the large parts of the region. Local leaders and right groups say revenue from Baluchistan resources flow to Islamabad and Punjab, while province itself is left with little investment, little political power. Instead of development, what Baluchistan has received over these decades is heavy militarization. Security forces dominate vast areas of the province. Checkposts, counter-insurgency operations and intelligence raids have become part of daily life. Human rights organizations have repeatedly flagged enforced disappearances, extrajudicial killings and arbitrary detentions, abductions, rape, conversion of young girls including minors, allegations that Pak authorities deny. Families in Baluchistan continue to protest demanding answers, but missing relatives, some of whom vanished years ago, still elude. The cycles of repression and resentment has fueled a long-running insurgency driven by groups demanding greater autonomy of outright independence. Each fresh wave of violence is followed by a familiar response from Islamabad blaming foreign hand and external interference. New Delhi says Pakistan is deflecting attention from its
including the capital, Quetta, Noshki, Gwadar, Panjgur, Pasni, Tum. Many of the areas are still under the control of the Baluch Liberation Army. The news are coming that Noshki is still under the full control of the Baluch Liberation Army. There's an outright war going on between the army of Pakistani army and the Baluch Liberation Army's freedom fighter. And they have also, I was just reading the news, Pakistani military personnel have targeted civilians in Noshki, killing over a dozen people there. Now, these are just the latest news coming from Baluchistan. They are not directly engaging with the Baluch Liberation Army's freedom fighter. They're using drones to target, civilian populations where they are saying that the militants are there. Also, just to mention one bit of information which I was seeing on the screen, and as you've mentioned as well, the number which our Pakistani state saying that they have targeted 145 freedom fighters of Baluch Liberation Army. Baluch Liberation Army has refuted that claim, saying that only 27 member of his organization has been, killed during these operations, out of which 14 members were part of the Baluch Liberation Army's Majid Brigade, which is a suicide squad of the organization, which actually, when take part in such operations, their their aim is to, provide support to the other militants. And in that action, they normally use, a car, they explode themselves, and their aim is to die during that battle. So most of which they've been killed, they were actually went with the idea of self-sacrificing, and the number which are very huge, but we believe that the Pakistani army has killed mostly civilians, and they're still killing, as I said, a dozen in Noshki, and also I believe a dozen or more in Gwadar.
Okay. Francisca, your opening comments, madam?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen your intro. Pakistan keeps accusing other countries of this, and of course, it does not change its strategy in Baluchistan. They say doing the same thing continuously, expecting a different result, is one of the symptoms of mental illness. This is what Pakistan does in Baluchistan. Enforced disappearances, torturing people, illegally jailing, killing people without motive, and facing the legitimate demands of Baluch as a security threat. I mean, of course, then this is bound to happen, and more people will join resistance, because, again, I keep saying it, but Baluchistan is an illegally occupied country. And this is the way it should be dealt by the international community.
is an illegal occupied country. What Pakistan is doing in Baluchistan fits perfectly the definition of genocide internationally accepted. They are killing Baluch because they are Baluch. They are exploiting the resources of the country. And then they are complaining why people oppressed, killed, thrown in mass graves are reacting. This is bound to happen and will happen again and again until Pakistan does not stop with this so-called strategy. They refuse to talk with the Commission of Women that went walking to Islamabad just to demand, just to inquiry about their disappeared relatives. They refused. They harassed them.
Okay, madam. Okay, let me get General Kocher. General Kocher, you know, the West has a lot of human rights issues when it comes to India. The Western press has no human rights issues when it comes to Baluchistan. You know, I have seen this strange silence in all the publications from New York to London. If something is happening in Kashmir, even a pin drops, you know, it becomes a human right violation. You know, so much of violence has taken place against civilians, but there is no narration on what's happening in Baluchistan.
Karthikeyan, see, this issue is a very, very serious one, and it has to be flagged right up to the United Nations. But unfortunately, the Human Rights Watch and the Amnesty International is absolutely silent, as you rightly said, because the superpowers or the people who matter as part of the UN and as a part of these organizations are turning a blind eye because of their vested interests. We know US is actually eyeing those rare earth materials and elements here, and a crypto deal also. We keep on hearing about all these things, and this is all in Baluchistan because Pakistan has not been able to exploit to the extent the kind of mineral wealth Baluchistan has. The second most important aspect is, see, we are talking about genocide, as Francisca also very rightly you mentioned, that the people who are getting killed, this figure of 144 or 145, more than one third are civilians, and these are innocent because when you carry out a drone strike, and I have seen the Pakistan army strategy and tactics in Baluchistan, they have even used air power. They don't venture close to these Baluchis because they know in the event of a firefight, the guerrilla type of warfare, the Pakistan army is not very well trained, and Baluchis are very well trained, and we have seen almost 400 casualties of the Pakistani soldiers in the last 1 year. Jafar Express was a living example in front of you that how the Baluchis have targeted the Pakistan army, and the things didn't come out in the media the way it should have been come out because Pakistan forces had a casualty in excess of 150.
So the world isn't asking the right question. Is Baluchistan a foreign country? Is Baluchistan a country? Is Baluchistan a nation which Pakistan has occupied? I think that's the political question.
Yeah, that's the political question, and it's a very, very rightful question because as brought out by one of the panelists, Baluchistan was taken over by Pakistan without its own consent. So if the people of that place, if the people of that country, see, it's 44% of land of Pakistan and only 5% of the population of Pakistan stays there. I think this demographic factor is one of the major reasons Baluchis are not having their voice in Pakistan because they are in a very, very low minority there. And none of their senior positions in the Pakistan hierarchy, you take the Pakistan army, 80% of the Pakistan army is dominated by Punjabis. Look at the administration posts in the Pakistan army in the government, again Punjabis. So they don't have a voice. And when they don't have a voice, I think they are not going to be heard.
Okay. Hakim, do you think that Baluchistan has not received a lot of support from international community in context that it was forcibly occupied by Pakistan? Baluchistan is a separate nation. It's a separate nationality. It should not be seen as an ethnicity.
Well, yes, that's the unfortunate scenario when in 1948 the Baluchistan was occupied. So historically, when the Great Britain, as they call themselves, when they were leaving the subcontinent, when they unfortunately divided India and they created this fanatic state, a fascist state under the name of Islam, Pakistan. From the very first day, Pakistan's intention was to occupy Baluchistan under the name of their religion. But both houses of Baluchistan parliament, the upper house and the lower house, rejected that, and they told the Pakistan, the then Governor General Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who was also unfortunately the lawyer, but he was a lawyer of Baluchistan, representing Baluchistan case in front of the British Empire for its sovereignty, for its freedom. So the first setback that Baluchistan has was from the British Empire, because it was their strategy telling Pakistan to occupy Baluchistan. And since then, what we have seen that Britain has not only, broken its treaty promises with Baluchistan, but then Pakistan has been given free hand. 5 major military operations were conducted in Baluchistan. This is the 5th operation going on in Baluchistan. And as a result of which, now what we are seeing in Baluchistan, that the Baluch people, the Baluch nation, who never felt, thought, or understood